clash of religion, science, and politics.
Promote science which destroys life in order to save life.
And we have to change attitudes.
With the goal of saving people's lives.
This is the one opportunity and the closest opportunity we have in finding a cure.
You have to wait until, like I said, we don't want to pay the $100 a month anymore to store our embryos anymore. We're done.
We are losing ground.
Embryos are tiny little human lives.
What? I think a lot of people have a misconception.
Call upon the president not to reduce human life.
And keep an open mind about it.
As we wait for a cure.
But it will be revolutionary.
I'm against it.
Which is vital.
There's been a big misapprehension about the source and origin of the cells.
Create a human being who you then intentionally destroy.
Embryonic stem cells are taken from in vitro fertilization clinics. After the egg has been fertilized, it divides into a ball of cells called a blastocyst. Scientists then remove the cells from the inner cell mass and put into a petri dish where they can multiply indefinitely. By adding different growth factors to the embryonic stem cells, they can be transformed into a specific type of cell, like nerve, bone, muscle, and pancreatic. Unlike other stem cells, embryonic stem cells are the most feasible, can replicate indefinitely, and are pluripotent, which means they can turn into almost any type of cell in the human body.
This controversial topic can be found in its most primitive form as far back as 1954. In 1954, scientists were awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for medicine for developing a vaccine for polio by working on cultures of human fetal kidney cells. However, with all the scientific breakthroughs that ensued the use of fetal tissues, a new web of policymaking followed. Beginning in 1970, where the use of aborted fetal tissue and in utero experimentations designed to help further understand and cure tissue diseases was banned from being federally funded until guidelines and safeguards were established by a blue-ribbon congressionally established mandated commission, and later codified into federal law. In the 1980s, the controversy shifted as science continued to expand its knowledge about fetal tissues. Now the focus was on the transplantation of fetal tissues into adults for various major diseases and serious conditions, diseases like Parkinson's, diabetes, and spinal cord injuries. Federal funding for this scientific study was halted by the Reagan administration in 1988. However, it was resumed in 1993 after an executive order issued by President Clinton. Then, in January 2001, after embryonic stem cells had been discovered in 1981 and its research was underway, President Bush decided to attempt a compromise between the citizens who wanted stem cell research to be completely banned and those who wanted federal money to help embryonic stem cell research. The president's policy stated that at that point in time, only stem cell lines that existed, which were supposedly 64 cell lines, may be federally funded, and any others after that point would receive no federal funding, causing the majority of embryonic stem cell research to become privately funded. In 2009, after Obama's administration began in 2008, President Obama overturned Bush's policy from 2001. President Obama's new executive order states that embryonic stem cell research, beyond the 64 embryonic stem cell lines, can now be federally funded. He also signed a presidential memorandum establishing greater independence for federal science programs and policies.
The argument against embryonic stem cell research is based greatly off of moral standings, making it a large interest to religions. The Catholic Church makes up a large percentage of those against embryonic stem cell research. The majority of the Catholic Church believes that once we cross the fundamental moral line that prevents us from treating any fellow human being as a mere object of research, there is no stopping point. This was published in the Catholic News Service in 2008. The Catholic Church also believes that human embryos, even when only a few clumps of cells, called a blastocyst, has human rights. Therefore, the Church does not believe in the killing of spare embryonic stem cells. The Church concludes, ultimately, each of us will die, but that gives no one a right to kill us. Other religions also believe that embryonic stem cell research is not only acceptable, but is morally required. In fact, Rabbi Elliot Dorff, a professor of philosophy at the University of Judaism in Los Angeles, believes the fact that embryonic stem cells hold out so much more potential than adult stem cells, it would be an actual evil not to do this research.
Support for stem cell research is coming from the scientific community, but as mentioned before, there are other people who support the continuation of the research. Politicians as well as state support groups are speaking out about the benefits of continuing funding stem cell research. Orrin G. Hatch, the Senator of Utah, announced his support of embryonic stem cell research in July of 2001. In his official statement on the issue, he concluded, "Federal support of embryonic stem cell research is a pro-life, pro-family position. This research holds out promise for more than 100 million Americans suffering from a variety of diseases, including heart disease, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, ALS, cancer, and diabetes." This rationale for support seems to be consistent with most opinionated writings and other political opinions. The need for a cure is the greatest incentive for most supporters of stem cell research. Nancy Reagan, wife of President Ronald Reagan, who died of Alzheimer's, spoke out in May of 2004 in support of stem cell research, declaring, "I'm determined to do whatever I can to save other families from this pain." Scientists, believing that the potential benefits of stem cell research outweigh the pro-life concerns, mirror this resolve and continue to strive towards obtaining these goals.
It is our duty to bring hope to the sick and the disabled, not to bind the hands of those who can bring them hope.
Embryonic stem cell research is truly life-affirming.
If you could save the lives of thousands of people from a cell that's about to be destroyed anyway, doesn't seem like a big ethical dilemma to me.
Our solution to this controversy would be to continue federal funding for embryonic stem cell research to a certain extent, so as not to have politics impede its research as it has done in the past. We also have hope that under Obama's administration, embryonic stem cell research will be allowed to flourish and produce even more cures and options to help those suffering from injury and disease. Embryonic stem cell research is for the betterment of humankind and challenges the reach of America's sense of responsibility.
Not a matter of if it's going to make a big difference, but it's just how long it's going to take and what the final view of it is, but it will be revolutionary in terms